What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about 3 of the biggest lessons I've learned doing jiu-jitsu. And the last one is one you're definitely going to want to stick around for because it's the one that's helped me in every facet of life. Let's get into it. Number 1, gratitude. The way I learned gratitude was from being injured. There's a few times I've gotten injured throughout training. You know, I tore my groin before. I've hurt my ankle before, not tapping the foot locks. We all know how that goes. But the one time that it really stuck with me was when I injured my knee. When you have to get surgery and you don't know if you're ever going to be able to train again, you really become super grateful. Not only to be able to train jiu-jitsu, but grateful for your body. You know what I mean? Like those 6 weeks that I was in my brace and I had my knee completely locked out and I couldn't bend it, couldn't do anything, couldn't drive. It was a hassle just to even walk my dog. During that time, it was probably one of the hardest times because it was the first time in my life where I needed other people to help me, where I needed other people to do basic tasks. Like I couldn't even stand in my kitchen to cook, you know? And so being in that situation made me really grateful for my body, for my health. And it really put into perspective just for the ability to practice the art that you're doing, to be able to train whenever you want, to be able to be healthy enough to go to the gym and get tired and have, intense roles where nobody gets injured and everybody leaves happy. That situation of sitting in my bed on all kinds of painkillers, can't walk, can't move, is one of the things that will really put into perspective that you don't get another body, you don't get another life. And if you really want to do something, whether it's jiu-jitsu, whether it's Muay Thai, whether it's boxing, whether it's cooking, whether it's running, whatever you want to do, be grateful that you have a body that can move in the ways that it needs to in order for you to do the activities that you enjoy. Number 2. Discipline / consistency. I almost put this at number 1 because it's important for almost everything that you do in life. I put them together because I think discipline and consistency goes together. What I want you guys to understand about discipline and consistency is what it helps you do is the things that you don't want to do when you know that they're the things that you're supposed to do. And people get kind of hung up on this thing of like, oh, well, how do I build discipline? You build discipline by doing the shit that you don't want to do. I'm going to use this in a fighter context, but you can use this for anything, right? As a fighter, if you want to get better at striking, if you want to get better at grappling, if you want to get better at wrestling, boxing, whatever these things are, it doesn't happen overnight. You literally have to wake up every day setting the intention that you want to get better at whatever the martial art is, and then actually getting up and going to those practices, even when you don't want to, even when you're tired, even when you're hurt. All of those things don't matter. You have to get up and go. You have to get up and go. And if you train your body to always get up and go and do the things that you know you need to do, even when your mind is telling you, I don't want to do it, I don't have to get up, I can just lay in bed, no one will ever know. But you know, and that's the key. You know.
And you know this, man.
And then obviously you have to do that every day, right? So having the consistency of waking up and doing it every single day. Now, of course, there are going to be times where you may fall off, right? Or there might be that one day where you broke and you stayed in bed. But as long as overall you are always training and you're always going to the gym and you're always trying to improve, you're doing the right thing. And if you do that every day, I hate this quote, but I'm going to say it anyway because it applies here. If you do that, you get 1% better every day over a certain amount of time. This is the reason why I hate the quote, by the way, because 1% every day means that in 100 days, you will be better. Anyways, it's fine. Everybody knows what they need to do. All of you guys watching this video right now know exactly what you need to do for whatever it is that you want in life. You know what you have to do, but you wake up every day choosing not to do it. It's hard. It's hard to do, which is why most people don't do it. And which is why most people don't get to where they want to get in life, is because they're not consistent enough. Number 3, focusing on the journey and not the destination. I am saying this to you guys because I've heard people say this my entire life. And I didn't realize it until recently, because when I started training jiu-jitsu at 18 years old. I've been doing jiu-jitsu for 16 years, 17 years, something like that now. And one of the reasons why this popped up for me was because I was getting a little antsy about getting my black belt. You know, I've been a brown belt for 5 years.
You have black belt?
No, brown belt.
I agree with your brown belt.
And so because of that, I'm getting a little antsy about my black belt. And then I remembered when I started, I never cared about a belt. I never cared about, oh, I want to get my blue belt. I want to get my purple, brown, black. I never cared about the belt because when I started, I cared about getting better. When you care about getting better, the belt doesn't matter. All of those things are a product of you getting better. A blue belt is a product of you getting better. Purple belt, got to get better. Brown belt, got to get better. Black belt, you've taken 10 years to get better and now you've gotten to a point where you're really good. And someone acknowledges that by giving you the belt. But the belt doesn't mean that you're not skilled. The belt just means someone else, your instructor, is acknowledging that you have reached black belt level. But in reality, there's many people who compete at a professional level. I mean, right off the top of my head, I'm thinking about Nicky Rod.
And your winner, Nick Rodriguez. Crowd in disbelief.
The belt doesn't really matter. What matters is the skills that you have and the journey that you're on going to get that belt, right? So a lot of times why people quit anything in life is because they're focused on the end result and not the process of getting to the end result. It doesn't matter what it is. If we think about jiu-jitsu, again, if the end goal for you is black belt, you're going to get real tired of training because it's going to take you 8 to 10 years. And if you're having this mindset of, I want my black belt for 8 to 10 years, you're going to quit, which is why most people quit, because their only goal is the end. It's not, I want to get better. I want to learn how to do a triangle correctly. I want to learn how to defend myself against triangles correctly. Arm bars. I want to learn how to control the back. I want to learn how to do this. I want to learn how to sweep better. I want my top game to be better. I want to learn how to pass. If you focus on improving those little areas of your game, by the time you turn around, you're a black belt.
Black belt? Who gave him that? We have to check that moment.
It just happened because you weren't focused on it. If you look at it from a boxing perspective, a Muay Thai perspective, a lot of people can stick with those arts because there isn't this belt or system of ranking. The ranking system helps, but it doesn't help at the same time because they're like, oh, I just want to get better. And that's part of the reason why a lot of people stick with systems like boxing and kickboxing and Muay Thai is because people base it off of how they feel. Oh, I feel like I'm getting better. I can watch myself on camera and see that I'm throwing my jabs correctly. I'm throwing my hooks correctly. My footwork is getting a lot better. You're focused more on what you're seeing when it comes to these other martial arts versus jiu-jitsu, where we put so much emphasis on the actual belt and the color of the belt when it doesn't really matter. How many times have you trained with guys that are purple belts as a higher belt and you're like, dude, that guy's nasty. He's good. You roll with blue belts and you're like, how the fuck is this guy still a blue belt? He's over here tapping purple and brown belts. How is he still a blue belt?
How you, I'm saying, how, like, talk to me, bro.
You never know why, but the belt doesn't matter. And I'll tell you one thing that I've used this for, doing this, sitting in front of a camera and speaking to people. Like, this is not something that I thought that I would ever be doing. The only way you can get to that point is by focusing on the journey of getting to that point and not sitting here like, I want to get comfortable. I want to be instantly comfortable in front of the camera. That's never going to happen. There's only a few people that don't have that fear of sitting in front of the camera and talking. Everybody else, like me, like a lot of you, has to go through the process of every single day. You have to sit in front of the camera and talk and practice. But if you just say to yourself, I just want to instantly get good at this, it prevents you from even starting.